Welcome to Voice Notes with Shyloh, a podcast where I tell you about my week one little voice note at a time. This week, I'm very excited that I was able to exchange voice notes with my dear friend, author, comedian, and photographer, Hormann. I will let you know that we did not keep these voice notes to 2 minutes or less. When Allie and I get to talking, it's not going to be in increments of 2 minutes or less. However, we did keep it brief, the version of brief that is the Allie and Shyloh version of brief. I hope you enjoy this week's episode of Voice Notes with Shyloh. Good morning, Hormann. Happy Monday. I'm so excited to exchange voice notes with you this week and just talk to you. I had such a good weekend. Do you know the kind of weekend where it's like almost like you're coming back from vacation and you're like, I don't want to work. I don't want to work. I want to eat whatever I want. I want to spend all my money. I want to do everything that's fun because I had such a good time. It's like a lesser version of that, but I did have a really good weekend with Pride and with 4th of July, and I got some new rocks at the rock tent at Pride. And I'm just gonna, if you're like an entrepreneur kind of person or someone who just sells rocks, bring it to the queer events because we just can't help ourselves. When you're like, this one will bring you peace and this one will bring you joy, fuck yeah, put those in my pockets. So I got some new rocks. I had a really good 4th of July. I went paddling. Also, I finished a book. I didn't read it. I listened to it because it's 2025 and I have a computer job and my eyes don't do the reading. So I listened to a book and it was really interesting. It's called The Urge, Our History of Addiction. And the author gave like a really in-depth history of addiction, starting with like the global trade of nicotine, and juxtaposed it with a lot of his own experience with addiction. It was really good. The end of it got a little more like making suggestions, but I guess he's like an expert in the field, so he can do that. But anyway, how are you doing? I'm so excited to talk to you. I want to hear everything. How's your summer going? What are you working on? What are you getting up to? I'm just so excited to talk to you.
Hi, friend. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to do this. This is so fun. I am so happy that you had a great weekend. I had a fine weekend. It was just really laid back. We had gone camping like the weekend before, from like Friday to Wednesday. However, it took some crazy turns because at one point my 10-year-old took a pool ball to the front tooth. So we got to find an emergency endodontist. Those are hard to come by, and expensive, like so expensive. So I also want to just be comfortable and eat whatever I want right now, but that's more of a self-preservation instinct than a celebration. But yeah, I love that you had a good weekend. And as far as new rocks, I am currently on like a very strict rock budget because of the massive number of rocks that I have. But I am kicking myself because I meant to sign up for a booth at Ren Fair this year because I make crowns with like really beautiful crystals in them. And I was like, you want to know who wants these? Queer Ren Fair people. Not all Ren Fair people are queer, but the Venn diagram is not, it's pretty close. It's pretty close. So yeah, I fully get the desire for the new rocks. And I want you to send me a picture of the rocks that you got. Okay, what else was I gonna say? Oh, you asked me about this summer. Okay, so this summer, I am trying to get some stuff in order, which is difficult when my 3 kids are home, and they are old enough that it's not as hard as other summers because they're not little. I'm not chasing them around. I don't have to entertain them. They can go to the park, right? They're 12, 10, and 8. They can go to the park. They can go to the neighbor's house. They can do all of these things. But they do have a tendency to also want to do unsupervised amounts of jujitsu on the carpet. And I have, like, the third day of summer, we had to have a serious family discussion about the kinds of chokes that you can and cannot do on your brother, which is none of them. You shouldn't do any of them, but it is. So summer is good. I'm growing a garden. I'm writing my book. I'm working on my website. I found a workout that I love, that I've been part of for like a year, and now I'm making videos for them. Like, it's good. And I am like, I would really love just for everyone to be out of my house for like 1 week, where I could just be in my own home. People are like, oh, but you could get away, you know, and like, I'm super lucky. Like, my husband is very much the kind of person who's like, yeah, totally, you can, if you need to, but I want to be in my own house. I want to be in the space that I have curated. I want everyone else to leave. But, yeah, anyway, what else was I going to ask you? Or I was going to tell you, I'm sorry about the editing you're going to have to do on this message. That's what I've got right now. Right now, I'm about to head out the door to take my kids to swimming lessons. And because the city of St. Paul does them for free. And, you know, so I'm going to read a book with my eyes. P.S. Audiobooks are books. It's reading. It activates the same part in your brain, and anyone who says it's not is ableist. So, but I am going to bring my Kindle and read the most mindless, just fairy smut, because I can, because I'm a grown-up and I can do what I want sometimes. Anyway, I am so excited to do this with you. Hi, I'm sending you a second one here on Monday evening, because I think you said we were going to send like 1 to 2, and I don't know. I immediately was like, oh no, am I going to forget, just as I was falling asleep? So don't mind the sound of the air conditioner in my room. But there is something about me that I don't think enough people know. And that is, like, when I was in college, I went to the University of North Dakota, and I was someone who should not have been trusted with her phone when she was out at the bars. Like, I texted a lot of people. I was desperate to know why my exes dumped me. Like, I mean, it was, you know, I was 20 and I had issues. I am now 41, and I did have one margarita this evening. And I have spent the evening texting my friends, telling them how much that I love them and I am proud of the work they are doing, and that I'm just grateful to be in their lives. And I realize I have very much shifted the idea of my drunk text, except, you know, I'm not sitting here with like Jello shots in my system. Instead, I have one mint and lime margarita in my body, and I'm like, you know what? I need to explain to Shyloh that I am just so impressed with the life that she's living and her work ethic, and I just am so grateful for her friendship. And I still think about that one time in the Dubliner where we sat in the same booth, and I had just started comedy and I didn't know anybody, and I was so nervous. And I think about just how welcoming she is, and like, I am And then I was like, oh no, is 41-year-old Allie just her 20-year-old self, but with like reflection and a much lower alcohol tolerance, which by the way is a great thing? I think yes. Anyway, I wanted you to know all of those things. And also, I think it's a very funny thing about me that 20 years later, in very different circumstances, I am very much the person who's like, still, I would like to tell people things. Anyway, I hope you're having a wonderful evening. I am gonna go see why my cat is meowing at me. Have a good night.
I absolutely love One Margarita Alley. You can call me with compliments anytime. I am here for that. We should have called this podcast Complimenting Your Friends or something like that. But I really needed to hear some of that, actually. So it was good timing. And I believe in all the timing and things and letting people know how much you appreciate them, and I do appreciate you so much as well. You know what's really interesting about the night you're referring to is that you and I were having the same experience where I also felt all those things, and I was also fairly new to comedy, and it was so cool that you just wanted to come and sit with me. And I was very, very shy when I started comedy. I was really comedy broke that in me. I'm still pretty shy when I'm first getting to know people, but for better or worse, I don't know if it's always a good thing, but comedy really helped me work through a lot of the shyness or just not really knowing how to talk to people all the time. But I just love that you just sat there with me, and I felt so seen and I felt so good just being in the comedy scene. And I had seen you perform before and I thought you were hilarious. So honestly, I felt so cool that a funny person was hanging out with me. And you were so nice. And that was like the beginning of our friendship for sure. And what's really cool, I absolutely love just the human moments, whether they're sweet or awkward or whatever. Those are things that I really tune into and I think are just so genuine and human. And I feel like that like moment that marks the beginning of our friendship is one of those just really human moments, and I love it so much. Happy Taco Tuesday! I'm really excited because I'm literally getting tacos today, and I am only living for that today. I'm ready for the whole day to pass me by so I can go have my tacos. I'm very excited. I was thinking about this morning the comment you made about wanting to be in your own space that you curated. It's just your space by yourself, and I could not relate more. I am in a relationship. My partner and I both love, capital letters love, having our own places, being in our own, like, having our own spaces, even though I'm not really spending that much time in mine anymore because of being busy and going over there and stuff. But it's interesting. It's just like there's something about your space, and it's so interesting to, I don't know, there's like all the stereotypes of like lesbians moving in together, and they're true. I used to do this joke when I was hosting the saloon, when we were like dating for 3 months. I'd be like, oh my goodness, we're dating for 3 months and we don't live together. That's a personal best. And all the queer people in the saloon would laugh very hard. They thought that was funny. But then when it got to be like a year, more than a year, people stopped laughing. One person asked me if my relationship was doing okay. But I think it was more just like, it's not funny at that point. It's just like, wow, you're really doing a healthy relationship. And even like that joke hit with audiences that weren't just at the gate, like regular, not regular, you know, the straights. And until, yeah, there's just, I don't know. my point is there's something about having your own space that is amazing, and I love it.
I am outside watering my garden, and I am just laughing because I love that joke. I love that joke so much. But more than that, when you said, regular audiences, like the Straits, I started laughing because at one point I had said the term the Straits to a family member of mine, and they were like, they kind of looked at me sideways, and this family member knows that I'm queer, and they were like, this, and I just finally, I was like, what? And they're like, Straits of what? Gibraltar? And I was like, yes, that is exactly where I was doing comedy, was the Straits of Gibraltar. That seems like the most obvious thing. Not at all. We're definitely not talking about human sexuality. Definitely not. Anyway. And I love the fact that you both have your own places still. I think there's parts of me that have a deep envy for solitude, because Noah and I have been together for 20 years. Like, as of this August, we'll have been together for 20 years. And, when we got together, I was in college. I had a college roommate. And then we got married when I was 21. No, we met when I was 21. Oops. We got married when I was 23. And I'm 41. I have never in my life lived by myself. Not once. And I think about that all the time. And about how incredible it is that I lucked out in the, hey, I married someone before my prefrontal cortex was developed. But, and it turned out to be this extraordinary person who, like, yeah, he's the whole reason that I do comedy, because he's just encouraging and great like that. And in his encouraging greatness, there are times when I want everyone to leave me alone. And I don't have that. And so I think I was sort of working toward a joke about the fact that like, rich women in Minnesota marry mediocre men who have lake houses so they can be alone. And I kind of forgot about that joke until now. But yeah, I love being alone, and I think it says a lot about, like, therapy and personal growth, that being alone doesn't scare anymore. It used to feel lonely. Now it's just like, ugh, I'm pretty cool, and my company is pretty nice. And we only eat what I want to eat, which, by the way, tacos sound amazing. However, I have had tacos for, like, the last 3 days, because it's one thing that my children can sort of put together themselves. And so I don't have to constantly play lunch lady, because feeding people all summer long is one of the most exhausting parts of summer. Is you literally, they eat breakfast and the next moment is like, hey, what's for lunch? And you're like, I was literally gonna have, like, a cheese stick and an apple, but yeah, sure, balanced meals, I guess, whatever. So but I could probably be convinced to do 4 days in a row for sure.
But are the Straits of Gibraltar, I have a hard time saying that, Gibraltar, let me try again, in action. But are the Straits of Gibraltar straight? That's the question we'll just never know. I think we'll never know. That's hilarious. Also, Taco Tuesday was a success. I gotta tell you, also, I'm laughing so hard. I laugh out loud when I hear your messages, but I'm also just laughing at both of us because I've like, I'm gonna have to change how I present the intro to the podcast because it's been like voice notes in 2 minutes or less, and neither one of us are doing that. Not even close. We're gonna change the word to brief voice notes, and I don't want to change it because it's very me. So I guess this is what it is now. But I have to tell you also, I was driving to work this morning. I'm late for work, which is the perfect time to record a voice note. But I'm driving to work and I'm going by this guy who's like mowing his lawn, which, what are you mowing your lawn in the morning for? What a bad neighbor. Let people sleep in a little bit. Anyway, and he's pulling his push lawn mower up these cement stairs, and I'm looking at it like, that doesn't seem like a good idea. And then the whole handle comes off of the entire lawnmower, like the base of the lawnmower, and it's just like the big long loop handle. And you just see this, I love these human moments where he's just like startled a little bit. Like the moment where he's like processing, it was such a visual thing to see that. Like, I don't really know how to describe it, but like that visual moment when someone is like, oh no, what happened? And my brain, that hasn't had enough coffee yet this morning, is like, oh my God, the lawnmower is gonna mow itself away down the stairs into the street. Like, what person in their right mind has the lawnmower actually running as they're pulling it up the cement stairs? I hope not. But the fact that that's where my mind went, I think I'm just not allowed to mow lawn anymore, and I'm fine with that. I do not dream of labor. Also, P.S. on that note, I got this great idea that I would buy fresh vegetables instead of frozen vegetables, but we both know I'm not home enough to, like, get through the fresh vegetables before they go bad. So I have some sitting at home. I saw them last night, and I was like, I'm going to chop them up, but then I didn't get home till late, and then I'm not going to be around tonight. So I put it on my to-do list for Thursday, but I'm hoping to God they make it till Friday. So just pray for me, or put the energy, whatever you do, put the energy on those vegetables. And I just have to learn. I don't even know where I'm going to end up tomorrow. It was funny because you said apple and a cheese stick, and I was literally holding an apple and a cheese stick. I did pack a really good lunch today, but I also have 2 peanut butter sandwiches for tomorrow just in case.
I'm very glad that Taco Tuesday was a success. And I'm also glad that we're talking about these being brief voice notes, because your girl is verbose. Like, Short's not really in my milieu. Anyway, I had the exact same thought when you said that the handle came off of the lawnmower. I was like, oh no, he's gonna get his foot run over. Like, as if, yeah. And this is from someone who mows I am the lawn mower in my family. It's good exercise. And also, I can do it during the day, and sometimes I do it in the morning, but I do my best to do it after like 9 a.m. But it's hot for the rest of the day, so I'm just trying to get it done. I have no idea about the, sexuality of the Straits of Gibraltar, but it is really close to some pretty great like gay culture spots, so one does never know. My kids are at swimming lessons, and I have always thought to myself, I'm gonna be the parent, right, who just like I always hated when parents would like come and get frustrated with me when I was a teenager and I was teaching their kids things. I was like, I'm never going to be that parent. Never going to be that parent. And then I was sitting at swimming lessons listening to this swimming lessons teacher try and teach my kids the breaststroke, and she was doing it wrong. And it was so funny because that instinct to talk about, oh, when I was in high school. Like, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, that was 23 years ago. But also at the same time, you can't pull your arms out and pull your legs up at the same time. You will sink to the bottom of the pool. Like, and I just want, it's taking a lot of me to not go over there and be the most annoying parent. And so I would like props about the fact that I am not doing that. Yeah. So, but my kids are going to camp for the next couple of days, and I am going to just stay at an Airbnb near the camp, so I can be like hang out by myself and do some work, and it's gonna be great. And also I am so tired of driving my children around that I literally just was like, I can't drive 3 hours to camp and 3 hours back home. I'm just gonna stay up there. It makes more sense. So, you know, I did this logically and definitely not for my own little mini vacay. I hope your peanut butter sandwiches are amazing, and I am about to actually go make a bunch of those for our road trip. So, great minds. Great minds.
Tonight was date night, and we went out to dinner, and we walk in the restaurant, and all I hear is do 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 do, you know, and I was like, oh my God, that's the Top Gun theme song. And I'm so excited, right? Like, I'm being quite vocal, and we sit down and I'm so excited. Like, the Top Gun theme song is playing in the restaurant, and I'm like, yeah, I know this song so well because I used to put on sunglasses and make little videos with this song of myself, cute, right? And then they play in the radio, Take My Breath Away, and I'm like, oh my God, they're playing the whole Top Gun soundtrack. This is incredible. And I was so excited. And what I learned about myself tonight is that I cannot remember my address, where I live, without looking at a piece of mail. But I know most of the words to the entire Top Gun soundtrack. And it was also funny because I think I overheard the workers being like, oh, we've listened to this, so we need to like turn it off. And I remember, and one of the people were like, no, they like it. Because I was so like, I'm so excited, it's Top Gun theme song. So that was my night.
The Top Gun soundtrack is very epic. It does give me odd flashbacks because I went to school at the University of North Dakota, and something that not a lot of people know is that UND trains the majority of commercial pilots. And commercial pilots, especially commercial pilots who start off in the Air Force ROTC, are obsessed with Top Gun. And they would watch it like in like the common area at least once a week. So, anyway, there's that. I love the fact that we really do remember music lyrics. I heard somewhere once that when, you know, you grow up like us in a world where we had to listen to the radio, and we couldn't just pick and choose what we wanted to listen to when we were kids, that by the time you turned 18, you had 10,000 songs memorized. And I am the same way. I don't know which of my children I am talking to, and I made them myself. But today we were driving up and we were playing, like, does mom know this song on the radio? Just scanning through whatever stations are available on Highway 65 through Lakes Country in Minnesota. And the answer is yes. Mom did know those songs. And my 10-year-old was impressed. My 8-year-old was horrified. Absolutely horrified. And I feel now like I've peaked as a mom.
Hello, Allie Hormann. So here's what happened. I called my psychiatrist to make an appointment, and I did get one. Yay. In 4 weeks. I have about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks left of ADHD meds. In the 4 weeks, when I have 2 weeks worth of medication, I have a really important job event which is also going to require, or at least encourage me to go buy at least 1 or 2 new pieces of clothing. I don't do stores well on a good day, so that's going to be a challenge. But I am on a budget right now, right? Like, we're picking the important days, which means today is not one of those important days. And I am going to do my absolute best. And you will be so proud of me. I already drank some coffee to help me calm down because ADHD is the weirdest thing like that. And I'm going to remember to take deep breaths. And honestly, it's like, I don't think, like, genetically, I don't think that people with ADHD are meant to work. I don't think that. And I told my partner that this morning. She goes, no, you're meant to work. You're just meant to work differently. And I was like, yeah, I'm meant to ride my bike around all day and make cute little videos that make people feel good and hang out with my friends. And that is kind of half of my job as a comedian, I guess. But yeah, so it's gonna be just one of those lovely days. And last time I forgot to take my meds, my friend came over and brought me to a flower garden, and honestly it was like one of the best days ever. And it was like late in the afternoon, and I was like, why is everything, and I was like, oh, that's why I forgot my meds. It's just a different experience. We'll keep you posted, maybe, if I remember. Wish me luck.
Okay, so I hope that you know forever and always that I will always be a friend who is proud of you no matter what. So the fact that you are actually sticking to a budget with your ADHD meds makes you a better person than I am. Also, as far as work goes, I have to say that throughout my life, I have been told more than once by more than one person that I am a lot of work. And I feel like if I have to be a lot of work, I shouldn't have to do a lot of work. Like, I think I am what everyone else is already looking for. That sounded so conceited. Oh my God. But I am working right now. I'm editing some photos, and I have to say something, and it might sound a little philosophical, but I think this is something I've been thinking about for the last couple of days, just about the exhaustion of the idea of a cost of living. The fact that capitalism has convinced us that existence comes at a price, and that price is not negotiable in any stretch of the imagination. The idea of living a creative life and being a small business owner, I understand, is a huge privilege, but also it is so exhausting to constantly try and convince people that I and the things that I create with all of my heart are worth keeping me alive. And yeah, and I would like everyone listening to understand that this is the vacillation of the conversations Shyloh and I have. Is tacos, ADHD, witchy stuff, and comedy, and then deep, life. Speaking of witchy things, I'm up in Grand Rapids, Minnesota, because my kids are at camp, and I'm just hanging out, doing work, and there's a cute little witchy shop, and I got some more rocks, and I don't need them, but I got them anyway, because I wanted to. Yeah. And I got a new tarot deck that just came in from one that I pre-ordered a long time ago, and I forgot about it, and it was like a little present. It's like a little surprise. And it's so beautiful, and it's green, and it's very tarot, like it's very Taurus coded. Like it's called the Bird King Tarot. We'll do a reading sometime. It's really great. Anyway, yes, work, cost of living, and witchy stuff. And that is all I have at the moment.
Update Thursday, I went shopping at the mall all by myself without my meds, and it was a success. Did I lose my sunglasses in the mall? I sure did, and I cannot go back to look for them. I will never make it out. Luckily, I accidentally bought the same exact pair, a duplicate. I meant to return them already, but I haven't done that because I kept forgetting, and now I don't have to return them because I'm going to need them. The bad part is I'm going to have to be driving home westward without any sunglasses, but I think I can manage. I did such a good job. I got only what I went in there for. I didn't have a single meltdown. And here's the thing, like, shopping for so many people can be so triggering because, you know, society. And then there's also like the guilt of like, oh, I should be doing thrift store clothes because, you know, society. And then, but the thing about it is I know my body well enough to know that if I go into a thrift store, I'll never be able to find something. It'll be a meltdown. Thrift stores are for just shaking the dice, not for I need an outfit fucking on Monday. So I went to the mall, which is also not always a good idea for me in particular, but I did such a good job. And I bought display shoes. When I asked for a discount though, I was like, these are the display shoes. They're the only ones in my size. Do I get a discount? And he was like, they're already like $50 off. And I didn't feel like fighting because I was already so proud of myself. I got 2 shirts and pants. That's it. That's all I needed. I probably only needed 1 shirt, but I actually do need new clothes, like desperately bad. It's getting like literally I wear the same shirt. I work from home Monday and Friday, and so I just wear whatever. And then I have my Tuesday, Thursday shirt, and then my Wednesday shirt. And sometimes I rotate them so that the pink one is my Tuesday, Thursday shirt because I don't want people to figure it out. But I also like just having a set of clothes for each day of the week, which really makes my life a lot easier. I did a good job, and now I need a snack. Luckily, I have another cheese stick in my lunch bag here in my car. My night did not go the way I thought it was going to go. I really thought I was going to go do a comedy set, but life threw me a different type of opportunity that I needed to be prepared for. So, whatever happens, now I have new comedy clothes, and that's always a plus. And so it's not a waste. I needed it, and I cannot believe how well I did without my meds. I did not do that well at work. Actually, I did great. It was hard. It was so hard, but again, did my best. There's so much stigma around ADHD meds. I just cannot emphasize enough, like, how I have never been able to have a really productive life without them. In my entire life, with all the strategies and all the things. And, the stigma got to me today where I was like, you know what? I probably don't even need them anyway. I'm just being a little wimp and I should just use my tools and my strategies better. And you know what? I gotta stop doing that to myself. It's not good. It's really, really not good. But how I did use all my tools, and I did a good job today. I did a really good job, and now I get a treat. I'm going to eat that cheese stick, but I'm probably also going to get a treat because I did so good today. I think I accidentally said productive life earlier when I was talking about the impact of the ADHD meds, when what I actually meant to say was fulfilling life. And that's a really important distinction because there's so much conversation about how to make people with ADHD be productive in society and all this. But what I really meant was fulfilling, as in being able to have connections with people and being able to do just the smallest tasks to be able to take care of myself. I'm talking about tying my shoes. I was diagnosed with ADHD when I was 28 years old. That's when I started medication. And prior to that, I'm not joking. It is not a joke. The psychiatrist laughed when I told her this when I was being assessed. But it was 100% not a joke. 30 minutes to tie my shoes. Maybe on a good day, like 20. It would take me so long to get ready, to put on my shoes, to find my clothes. Like just the most basic of things that I really couldn't do on my own very well. And it's been like that my whole life. And just so many things that I've struggled with so hard with my whole life, and trying to prove myself and in ways that were very unhealthy and unhelpful, and just feeling constantly not good enough for anyone or anything. And that's what I mean, to have a fulfilling life. I just wanted to make that distinction.
See, world, this is why you have friends that like get you without having to explain yourself. Because I was literally about to start recording this voice memo to be like, hey, I totally understand, and don't forget, like, your worth is not measured by your productivity. And then look at you just being self-aware as hell. And then I don't even have to remind you of that. It's incredible. I am walking the streets of Grand Rapids, Minnesota. I'm about to go meet with a friend who I haven't seen in a really long time, like 6 years, I think. But that's, I think, one of the cool things about social media is, I know it has plenty of pitfalls, but it also means that I can go see my friend Odessa and learn about like her kids and the band that she's in and stuff like that. So that's cool. I have written 3,000 words today on my book, and this is the thing about like the productivity and ADHD. Anyone who's not, I don't know, me, I guess, would probably hear that and be like, oh my gosh, that's incredible. And in my head, I'm like, yeah, but when I'm at a good clip, I can write 750 words an hour, at least. So 3,000 words in a day that's just chump change. And yeah, isn't it weird having to convince your brain that all the work your body does to keep you alive has been not in vain? But it is in vain, because it is for myself. Anyway, I've been feeling very philosophical today, which is funny because I am writing romance. But there's philosophy to be had there. And there's a train going by, if you can't hear it. And yeah, I am constantly reminded when I'm at a small town that small towns have so much charm if they try, but I'm way more scared walking around here than I am in like downtown St. Paul or downtown Minneapolis. Like, I could walk through Northeast right now and be like, whatever, I don't really care. I could walk through Cedar Riverside and be like, I don't care. Walk through downtown next to the XL Energy Center in St. Paul and be like, whatever. And right now I'm kind of like literally 2 blocks from the place I'm staying, and I'm like, ugh, it's kind of creepy. So that's what I've been thinking about. I'm proud of you for your super successful shopping trip, and I can't wait to see your clothes fashion show. Okay, bye.
I woke up this morning to the new Justin Bieber album, and I have to say I'm digging it. Unfortunately, my entire social media algorithm right now is Justin Bieber, and whatever is going on in his personal life, whatever is being speculated to be going on in his personal life. And the other thing in my algorithm right now is Creed, the song I'm 6 feet from the edge, puts up music of people being 6 feet from the edge or whatever. And I don't know how that happened. One was funny. It was like a Casey's pizza that was off the rack, and as the pizza thing was spinning, it was dragging the pizza like, I'm 6 feet. I love that one. And then yesterday there was one where it was like all trails said this would be an intermediate level trail, and it shows a video of them holding onto a rope on the side of a cliff. Very funny. I don't understand. Is it a trend? Why is it in my algorithm? I don't get it. But that is the reason. No, there's so many reasons. That is one of the major reasons why social media is no longer allowed to be on my phone unless I'm at a show or something and actively need to be posting things or talking to people. But all that to say, I woke up this morning to the new Justin Bieber album. I kind of really like it. I think he fired everyone or he unfollowed everyone that he used to work with. It's definitely a vibe change, and maybe it's like a good thing. I like the aesthetic of it. It just feels like it just feels, I don't know. I'm not going to do a music review. I don't have the words for it because it's morning time. But yeah, I like it so far.
I have to admit I have never once had anything near resembling Bieber fever. I think I'm a little too old. And however, things that are being speculated about his life also exist on my FYP, and I don't really know necessarily why, but probably because I'm a little bit nosy. I'm currently walking through the woods because, I feel like I'm just on the move when I talk to you. And that's not a bad thing. I'm walking back to my car after walking around in the forest, talking to the trees, because I am that lady. And yeah, just trying to get a little movement in before I have to go pick up my kids. We have to sit in the car for a bazillion hours. However, I have realized something about car trips with my kids. One, I have the best traveling kids. And before, everyone's like, oh, yeah, iPad kids. No, my kids don't, watch tablets in the car. On really long road trips. Like when we drive to Bozeman, Montana, they will. But we just, sing music, and then they just look out the window. And they get to be bored. But they don't complain. And it's incredible. And I feel really, really spoiled and grateful. But I'm such an audiobook listener that I sometimes beg my children to fall asleep so I can pop in my earbuds and listen to my own audiobook. Not that I don't want to listen to whatever they're listening to as well, but I don't. I want to listen to my own thing a lot.
The air quality is so bad today. I try to do some things, but oh my god, it is so bad.
The air quality is truly awful, and I can't even imagine what it's like in super far northern Minnesota right now, or even worse, in Manitoba. And I'm trying to be compassionate about it, but really I'm just annoyed. And mainly because having 3 kids who on literally the nicest day of the entire summer have to stay inside and not break each other or our entire home or whatever is really difficult. They just insist on pummeling each other, and I get it. They're just kids, and they just want to get their wiggles out. But I can't send them outside without giving them an asthma attack. So I'm just a little pent up. We are gonna hopefully get them to jiu-jitsu tomorrow morning. I would like to say one thing, and that is I live with 4 men who all do jiu-jitsu, and not a single one of them listens to Joe Rogan, and I feel really lucky and happy about that. Also, I got TikTok influenced. I get TikTok influenced to buy stuff all the time, which That's a problem. But I bought a caftan a while ago, like a big old house moo-moo that's flowy, and now I own 3 because it's the best thing I've ever put on my body. And this is my whole personality now, is I'm just this caftan lady. I walk around my yard in them. I'm sure the neighbors have opinions, and I'm sure I don't care, because the world's burning. Let me wear what I want.
I love the idea of wearing a caftan to deal with the awful smoke. Like, the world's really bad with the smoke and the fires, and you can just be comfortable. I love that a lot. I'm currently wearing my pajamas Twins jersey. It's not really a pajamas, but it is very comfy and cozy. It makes me feel good. So almost the same strategy, probably not quite as sexy though. I will say that I have been doing a good job staying indoors. Luckily, I have to work on compiling all these voice notes tonight and having them ready to go out tomorrow morning. So I just want to take a minute to thank you so much for doing this with me this week. You've been an amazing guest, and always feel free to send me a voice note. This has been so much fun. Thank you for doing the podcast.
Oh my gosh, this has been so much fun, and I have very much enjoyed being a guest with you. Anyone is allowed. Gracious. Please follow along on Instagram at Allie Hormann Creative, also on Threads, that same handle, and then on TikTok at just Allie Hormann. I don't have a whole lot of summer dates lined up at the moment because of summer being itself and crazy, but I will do my best to post more dates coming soon. And if you'd like a photography session or a tarot reading or a Reiki session, you can also hit me up. Have an amazing week.
Thank you for listening to Voice Notes with Shyloh. Special thank you to our guest this week, Allie Hormann. What a delight that was. I'm so excited that I was able to have her on the show. Please don't forget to follow her on Instagram at Allie Hormann Creative and all the other social medias that she just mentioned as well. You can also follow me at Shyloh Blake, ShylohBlake, on just about everything, and find more about me, show dates, etc. on ShylohBlake.com. Make sure to tune in next week to find out what happened this week. And don't forget to take a moment to send someone you care about a voice note.